22. Incorporated. This is America.
Land of free, home of the brave, baby, let's go!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3.
Episode 3.
Alright, first and foremost, I wanted to thank everybody that has been looking at our links this week. We have had triple the views from week 1 to week 2, so that's very important to us, and so thank you for everybody that's been watching, and we're hoping to triple this week to next week. But just keep watching and keep supporting us, and it means the world to us. And if anything, keep watching and let us know what's good, what's bad, what you guys think in the comments and everything. Let us know what you guys actually think about the podcast. Give us comments, things that we can do different, or things you guys want to talk about, or just ideas, or if there's an asshole of the week you want to nominate, give us a shout out.
We would love to. We would love to we would love to feature them on the official Asshole of the Week.
All right, Blaze, let's talk about our weekly recap. So,
of course, let's do this.
All right, so last week we went over the new Pope, Pope Leo the 14th. Then we talked about the prices of video games. And what we said last week on the video games were that they were going up $80 to $100. What we didn't state was that Xbox and Nintendo had already done this, and there's one holdout to that. And the holdout to that is
Sony PlayStation, what we play.
So we play Sony PlayStation, and they're holding prices, and we appreciate that because we are Sony PlayStation 5 owners. So
Pulling the Luigi.
Yeah. So then we talked about a random car on I-45 throwing kittens out the car window. That was our asshole of the week. Then we talked about Donald Trump and Veterans Day and Victory Day being interchanged with each other, and now we have heard two different things this week about that. One of them is that they're both going to be celebrated on the same day. One of them is that Victory Day is going to be took over. It's going to take over Veterans Day. So we're still waiting to kind of get word on exactly how this is going to work. We haven't heard much about it since he did the speech about it. So I'm still waiting on word on exactly what's going on. I'm waiting on more details. If anybody's got anything to say about that, or they got more information, or they think they know what's going on, please comment below. I'd love the information myself. Then we talked about the Abu Dhabi theme park for Disney.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, Blaze.
So there hasn't been any new updates as of yet, but I'm sure you guys may have heard last week we had actually spoken about that Disney actually ended up announcing a new Disney park in Abu Dhabi. I had actually, while Dad was out going to grab donuts, I had mentioned that the castle looked a little like Alice's castle a little bit, or looked like a Frozen-inspired castle of sorts. I could be totally wrong, and I could be taking things completely out of context, so please do not quote me on that. I would much rather not be sued by Disney for defamation.
You're gonna be fine, because actually it did look like Elsa's castle. But alright. And then we talked about our series, or we went into our series about PTSD and mental illness, which this week we're going into more about mental illness and my son's problems that he's been having since he was born. And then next week, which is what we're going to be going into, we're going to have a special guest on, and that is going to be an old friend of mine that has been around for probably 15 years, and that's going to be a kid by the name of Jordan Rutan, and he is as close to an uncle as my children have, and he's going to talk about his experience with mental health, and also talk about some of the things that he's been through in the military and things like that. So we got a special guest next week.
Mm-hmm.
So, Blaze, before we get into current events, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty good. Actually, it's been really crazy. So, this week I actually did go to see. I was with Alex and BJK, and we went to go see the new Minecraft movie.
Was it any good?
Oh, it was really good. It was actually really good. Like I said, I know for some the way they did things, like with the live action CGI design, may look a little jarring to some people, but I thought it was fine. I think they nailed it this time. I think they knocked it out of the park.
You know what I'm looking forward to? The new Final Destination. I'm looking forward to that new Final Destination. And I am personally going to go see it with the family this week, and then we're going to give reviews on it.
Okay.
And so, hopefully that's going to... So, your Minecraft movie, best out of 10, what would you say? And be harsh.
Be honest.
Be honest.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw in some harsh truth. I think the only problem is that like Jack Black, for the first, I think like the first 2 times he was singing, one near the beginning and near the end, there were 3 singing segments that Jack Black had. 2 of them I thought were absolutely cringe, just straight up cringe. I was doing everything in my power to not cringe so hard. Now the song at the very end, I actually did get to enjoy. I actually did enjoy that. I thought that was pretty cool. With him having singing alongside Jason Momoa, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool, and now we got to actually hear his singing chops.
So 1 to 10.
So I'm gonna have to give it say 8.5.
Okay, 8.5. Fair enough. All right, so next week we're going to be doing Final Destination, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into current events, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll start it out. So Trump's tax bill is gaining momentum in the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
There are cuts supposed to be happening, tax cuts, that would last while Trump is in office. That would be till the end of 2028. And that basically would mean that there would be an additional $500 in tax credits being on the being on each child. $1,000 bonus on the standard deduction. Also, no tax on tips. No tax on overtime pay, which is huge. And there's going to be a huge tax break for the business owners. So, the things that really affect us.
That's going to be good.
Tax breaks on business owners. Because I'm a business owner.
22 Incorporated, that is an official shop.
Yeah. The business owner thing, the child
tax,
and the overtime pay is huge. So that is something that's going to help the middle class out. So let's hope that those tax breaks and everything come through.
Definitely, especially since again Trump was especially on the election, especially on the campaign trail. He was definitely talking about that a lot.
Okay. All right, Blaze, hit the next one.
Okay, so Max. I'm sure you guys have heard of Max before. They are going to this summer become once again HBO Max. I'm sure you guys have heard of its previous title, HBO Max. They are once again reverting back to that original title, HBO Max.
HBO Max. So that was like 2 years ago that they switched. I think it was. They switched from HBO Max to Max, and then I think what ended up happening is they started to lose notoriety when they switched to Max, and then they wanted to switch back. Warner Brothers really started pushing them back towards becoming that HBO Max again. So they started losing notoriety, and that's a big thing for them. So that was 2 years ago that they switched, and and they'll be switching back sometime this summer. All right, so where there's good, there's something not so good. So I'm going to talk about our president again. So Trump has made a deal with Saudi Arabia and the UAE to ship AI chips overseas instead of keeping them and this product in the United States.
Oh no.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. I understand doing business overseas is important in our economics and things like that, but we are hurting right now with keeping our jobs in the United States, and those chips are huge right now for a lot of our electronics that we use, a lot of our video game systems, and I think that is something that we should have kept in the house. I don't know if you agree with me, Blaze, but I think.
Well, I've never gotten in much with like AI chips and that kind of thing, but I do know a thing or two about computer chips. And if AI chips are essentially what if when you refer to AI chips, you're referring to computer chips, then I definitely agree they should have kept that in the United States, and especially considering that something in particular. You know what? I'm not even gonna get into it.
Well, think about jobs. So
yeah.
Think about jobs, and we're always looking to expand jobs here in the United States. Mm-hmm. We always need more jobs. Obviously, years ago they shut down a lot of the factories that helped the small towns live and thrive, and those factories never really came back. Which is huge for a lot of these small towns, because that's what these small towns thrived off of. So think about a factory that is in making these AI chips. It could be a small town connected to that, and it could just you could be taking away their livelihood.
Oh, and that's not even the worst part. I actually want to harken back to something that, if you wouldn't mind, you know what? Nope. Yeah, because I wanna harken back to I wanted to harken back to the Veterans Day thing.
Well, let's stay on about the middle class, and let's stay on about white collar and blue collar workers and what's important here, and it's always about the jobs. And
like I said, once again, people are being disrespected again. That was something I mentioned.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but that is what's going on. So they did crack a deal with Saudi Arabia and UAE, and it is happening that there is some commerce going on between Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, not just UAE and Saudi Arabia, but there's $2 trillion worth of commerce going on now between us and the Middle East. And that's happened recently, just this week, between Trump and the Middle East. All right, so Blaze, hit the next one.
Okay, so there is a literal battle waging on over birthright citizenship in the Supreme Court.
That's a big one. Okay, so we don't take a stance here. We here at 22 Incorporated, we will not take a stance. But I know our big thing is that if you're born here, you deserve to be here. And I don't think that right should ever be taken away. Now, when it comes to what is lawful, we will not take a stance because that is up to the courts. So right now they're fighting about the 14th Amendment and whether it's lawful or not. And so I don't know enough about the case to know exactly what they're fighting about, but I do know that if you're born here, you should have the same rights as me. If you're able to join the military and you're able to die for your country and drink a beer next to me and drink a beer next to my son and go to the same school as him and do the same things as him and work here in the United States, you should be able to live here in the United States. So that's just 22 Inc.'s stance on that kind of stuff, but that's the way I feel. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks with the Supreme Court and see how they rule. And then we'll be the first ones to bring it to you. And then this is a big one, Blaze, and I want to make sure that everybody gets this out there. I want this posted up on the screen so
it will be right in the middle of us. It will be right between us.
So this is a big one. So New Orleans, we had 11 inmates escape from New Orleans prison this morning at 8:30 this morning. Everybody noticed that 11 inmates had escaped from their prison. One of those inmates, Kendall Miles,
he has been apprehended.
He was apprehended, and
then 10 right now still remain at large.
The thing about these 10, 4 of those 10 are in there for murdering people. They are considered armed and dangerous. We are roughly 4 or 5 hours away from New Orleans. And so everybody be on the lookout for them. Keep safe. If you are in the New Orleans area, please be safe around there. Don't do anything.
Don't do anything reckless.
Don't do anything reckless. Call the police if you see them. And keep safe. And then don't try to be a hero. Be safe. And please just call the blue people in blue and let them do their job. But definitely
yeah, do us a favor, don't try to be Superman.
yeah, please. But we will post up the pictures of those individuals, and if they're traveling or they get across state borders or anything, then we'll let you know. Alright, so the final thing I wanted to talk about is the Sean Combs P. Diddy trial.
Oh, yeah.
So that started 4 days ago, this week. The testimony from this week has been Cassie Ventura. She has been talking about how she was abused, raped multiple times. She was beat multiple times from him. How she's been talking about sex trafficking. She's been talking about her experience with Sean Combs. She's basically thrown him under the bus all week. And he's under charges for sex trafficking, racketeering, sex transportation over the borders for reason of prostitution. He's in a world of hurt right now. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I have been watching this case closely. I don't again, this is not an opinion of mine. I'm not going to have an opinion, but I will keep you guys posted. So Casey Ventura, longtime ex of his, testified this week. She's still got some more testimony to go. I will keep you guys posted every week on the outcomes of the case. So that's just what's going on there.
I will say these are some pretty strong accusations. I don't know if they are true, but if they are true, Diddy's got to be the most psychotic dude ever. But this could be just like the whole Johnny Depp thing where Amber Heard accused her of.
I don't know. It would be a hard one to make up some of the things that they've talked about. So.
Oh yeah.
But we'll figure it out. We'll see, and we'll keep you guys posted. So, all right, let's talk sports, and let's start with our favorite,
the WWE. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. So, Saturday night's main event
is 5/24. So that is May 24th. So May 24th, they are having Saturday night's main event. So that is a week from tomorrow. And we don't have a match list yet. But I'm assuming tonight on SmackDown and Monday night, they're going to be... they're really going to start getting into what the match card is going to be.
Now, I do actually have a confirmation of what one of the matches is going to possibly be, given the events of Backlash. And that being, of course, of Jey Uso versus Logan Paul.
Well, let's hope that Logan Paul loses.
Oh, yeah.
I am not a Logan Paul fan. But I will say this. He is a great YouTuber, and he is a good wrestler. I think he has.
I think he's got some growing to do.
He's got some growing to do. He's got potential. But I would like him to. He's got some years to put into him. But I'm by no means a pro wrestler. So he's better at than I am. So, but I love him as a host of his show, and I think he's good at what he does. But I'm not a fan. As a WWE fan, but again, as a podcaster and things like that, more power to him. So
agreed. We also have 2 events on the same night. So on June 6th, June 7th, excuse me. Please excuse. Sorry, June 7th. Will be WWE Worlds Collide.
So let's talk about Worlds Collide. The WWE recently, as of WrestleMania, they had acquired the AAA. And what the AAA is the luchadors from Mexico to wrestle. And their WrestleMania is Worlds Collide. So that is their main event. Mm-hmm. And then on 6/7 also, on June 7th also is Money in the Bank.
And this is all taking place same date, same location, different arenas. So Worlds Collide is taking place in the Kia Forum, whereas Money in the Bank is going to be taking place in the Intuit Dome.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that I think that they are going to push Liv Morgan. Either Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss. I would say probably Alexa Bliss over Liv Morgan. So I'm going to say Alexa Bliss wins the women's, and that Gunther probably wins the men's Money in the Bank. So that's my predictions at this point.
Okay.
All right, so let's see how true that comes. All right, so let's talk basketball. At this point, Oklahoma City and Denver, they're in Game 7. Game 7 is played on Sunday. They are tied at 3-3 right now, so we're watching that closely. I'm hoping for Game 7 to go to Oklahoma City because I know a lot of people that are saying Oklahoma City could be taking the whole thing. Then the T-Wolves and the Warriors just ended, and the T-Wolves took it 4-1. Mm-hmm. The New York Knicks versus Boston. New York Knicks are up 3-2. Or, I'm sorry, 3-3. New York Knicks just tied it up, and they are up for Game 7 on Monday.
Okay.
Let's talk hockey. Blaze?
Okay, so Carolina, the Carolina,
Just Carolina and Washington.
So Carolina versus Washington. Carolina won against Washington 4-1. Same goes for Edmonton. I think it's like the Edmonton something.
Edmonton. So 1-4-1.
Yeah, so they won against the Vegas Golden Knights, 4-1. The Dallas Stars. So the two games that we have left right now are the Dallas Stars versus the Jets. The Dallas Stars are leading 3-1. So if they can win one more game, they'll win their entire. They'll move on to the finals and whatnot.
And that's us. That's the team that I'm going for right now is the Stars. So we'll see that. All right. So go ahead.
And then we have the Florida Panthers versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are currently up 3-2. They are currently up 3-2, and I don't know when their next game is yet. I want to say that's like, I don't know, that's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I could be wrong.
All right. So, Blaze, I have a guy in mind.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
For my asshole of the week.
Hold on a second, because I actually have something. I made this earlier. Roll it!
All right. So it's time for us to get serious now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the reason why we're here. So, not only do we talk about current events and what's going on in our lives. So you talked about what happened this week. My week has only been filled with working this week. So I haven't had much to tell. It's been hour after hour working. So that's this week for me. But we talk about mental health and how important it is. The 22 Incorporated is a company made by veterans, me, and made by those with mental health issues, disabilities, my son, and it's meant for those with awareness, to put awareness out there, to start that conversation. So this week we were going to talk about you, Blaze, and
Right.
I was going to ask you a few questions about kind of what's going on with you. You read, so earlier this week you got a form from your old doctors, and you had read up on kind of the way you were when you were growing up. That you don't remember the way you were when you were growing up, but you had basically 100 pages of doctor's notes of them explaining the way you were when you were with us before all the doctors and the medication and all that stuff, and it completely shocked you what you were seeing. Tell us about how that made you feel.
I was in disbelief. I was just like, some of the things that were that happened while I was in Laurel Ridge. Look, I knew I was a problem in Laurel Ridge. I definitely caused a bit of a scene while I was in the hospital. While I was hospitalized, but I will say I did not expect to bear witness to what kind of a monster I really was in that hospital building.
I will say this, just because you have a disability, at no time have you ever been a monster. It's just you were born with a disability. You were born different, but you were born special. So never, not at one time have I ever told you that you are a monster, because you are not a monster. You are a special boy. You are a special man now. Mm-hmm. So don't ever think like that. I don't want you thinking like that. But I do want you to tell us, me, and the listeners, because I'm still learning too, about what were some of the things, if you don't mind telling us, because this, you don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, but what were some of the things that were in the paperwork that surprised you the most?
So back when I was very young, I'm sure you guys may have already heard that back in the first episode that I had mentioned that I had a bit of a murderous tendency that could have hurt people. The thing that shocked me the most, two things that shocked me the most, was the fact that I...
You don't have to yell.
Sorry, that I had attempted to... That I had threatened to kill a few of the doctors. And I cussed up a storm. The second thing that shocked me the most was the fact that I was touching on the female nurses' buttocks, to be professional. I was being provocative while I was in there. I did not realize I was doing that. That shocked me just as much as anybody. So, yeah, that was, yeah, when I found that out, I was like, ooh, I was like, why did I ever do that? Yeah, I was like, that was a big facepalm moment, so.
Yeah, so, now, as you've grown, what is your hardest, like, what symptoms do you still go through? Like, I know that as you've grown, you've been able to control, like, you're not, you don't have the homicidal tendencies anymore. You don't have you don't lean more towards that. When you were younger, you were trying to control that, and it wasn't working. Like, none of that was there. But what symptoms do you have now? Because by the looks of it, if you just watch this video, you can barely tell. Like, you can tell you have autism, but when it comes to schizophrenic, schizo-effective disorder, you can barely tell. But like, people would have to get to know you to tell that you have schizo-affective disorder. So what symptoms do you currently have?
So the symptoms that I currently have right now are, and this is something I had mentioned before, but I have what many would call voices in my head.
I have voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Yeah, I have imaginary friends that I literally talk to, I'm not just talking like two or three words, I'm like having a full-fledged conversation with myself. I am constantly in my head, and I mean, it's still a bit of a problem to this day. I have been getting a lot of help from a lot of people. Obviously, the Lord's been obviously holding me accountable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's one of the biggest ones. So that right now is one of the biggest ones that I am noticing. I don't really notice anything really when it comes to symptoms.
What about concentration?
Concentration. Oh, that's I tend to lose focus a lot, but I just think that's usually my ADHD kicking in.
Or your autism.
Yeah, or my autism too. That can be a thing. That can be it too. But I tend to lose focus a lot. I tend to not be as motivated as I should be to get things done. And that's part of the reason why I've been very, very lazy. And that's been affecting me in all aspects of life. Currently, right now, as you go outside right now, if you ever came into our house, you would notice there are dishes, and it is my day today.
So, Blaze is very much he's a procrastinator, but he's a good kid. He just he gets overstimulated very much. So too much of one thing overwhelms him very easily, and when he tries to make his way out of that situation, it takes him a while to get out of that situation, such as doing dishes. So, if he's asked to do dishes, it takes him 2-3 hours, where it would take most people a half an hour. So, because what he ends up doing is, like he was saying, he has concentration issues, but he also has the voices which he's communicating with, and sometimes they're not good at what they're telling you. Sometimes they're very negative, and sometimes they are totally disrupting of what I, as a dad, what my wife and I need done, and they take precedence over the normal chores and things like that, what we get. So he will sit there for 30 or 45 minutes talking to these voices, and then it'll be 30 or 45 minutes past that nothing will be done. And and we understand that, and we're very patient with him, which this has prepared me for a job inside the mental health facility in which I work in. So it makes me a more patient man inside that facility. So let me ask you then, what is the hardest part for you on accepting that you're different than the other people around you?
Oh, that's a good question. So, the hardest part is, and that's just something I've been really, the hardest part for me is just trying to keep my concentration because sometime in the future I do want to drive, but I know I have to get my concentration up, and the only way I can think of doing that is somehow figuring out a way to overcome my ADHD and figure this crap out. And once I'm at least up to a standard where I won't basically kill somebody on the road. I won't get into a wreck or something like that, or fatally hurt somebody, or fatally hurt myself. Um,
So I, as a parent, just so everybody kind of sees what's going on, I, as a parent, won't even entertain, I guess, a talk about him getting a license or even a permit at this point. Because of his concentration level, but also because he switches in and out of voices. Because I don't want to stick him on the road and then that happens and he ends up hurting someone or somebody ends up hurting him. And until, and this might be medication wise, there needs to be a switch. Until there is something that is more, until something better comes along, and it's worked through, then I can't entertain that. And he knows that. Because it's about other people and his safety. So he doesn't want to go out there and pass away, and I don't want him to go out there and pass away. And I want him to experience life to the fullest, but not at the cost of his life. So, all right. So let me hear you. What is your niche? What is the hardest? What is that one thing that keeps you driving along, that really just keeps you pushing forward, even though you have these disabilities?
well, I mean, if I'm being quite honest, I'd say it's the Lord. I mean, Jesus. I mean, he keeps me going. I mean, he's really kept me going, and I mean, and it's also the realization that I've already come this far. I'm not
Excellent.
willing to back down. I've already come so far. I'm not willing to back down and let this end anytime soon.
Good. Now, are there? Your family's very supportive about this too, and everything. About your disability and raising you and all that. Your family is.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that. How do you think that affects your family and stuff?
I'm just glad that people have supported me a lot and makes me feel great. I mean, I feel great that knowing that I got a family who understands me and understands what I'm going through. And quite frankly, I mean, after the divorce, I had really started to lose hope that I was really worried that I was gonna get sent off to a family that would treat me poorly because of said disabilities.
No, that was so. He speaks of the divorce between me and his mom. So you were worried that. Talk to me a little bit about that. So you were worried that what?
I was worried that, like, when the divorce happened, either mom or her new boyfriend, or her potential new boyfriend, I'm not sure who that would be at that time, but I don't even know if she didn't even have a boyfriend around that time, actually, from what I heard. Yeah. But I was mainly worried that she was that more than likely more than likely my bio mom would have probably put me up for adoption, and I would have been with a set of parents that I would say very much treated me cruelly, and really never really considered me quote unquote a freak.
No, that never would have happened. Your mom, in her own way, she loves you to death, and that would never have happened. And I'm here no matter what. So okay.
All right.
So let's say that if you could go back and do it all again, you were born again, you have a chance to live your life and without these disabilities, would you do it again, or would you be born the same way that you are now?
I would do it again, to be honest.
Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to think of them as like a curse. I would say they're more of a hindrance to my life, and I'm trying to figure out a way to overcome them because they've become such a hindrance on my life. They're like personal demons, if you will, that I'm having to face. I'm having to face these demons constantly, and it's like a constant battle. And I keep thinking that this year is going to be the end of it. Like, this year I'm going to end this war once and for all, and then it's another year, and then it's the same old cycle, and it feels like it's an endless war with these demons. But no matter what, I know that one day, some way, somehow, like, I'm gonna turn the tide.
And so you're very proud of who you are, and I'm proud of who you are and what man you've become because of that. And I'm proud that you are my son, and that. So let me ask you about if you could help somebody that has schizo-effective disorder, what advice would you give them?
Crap. I'm still trying to navigate this and figure out a way and figure out its weaknesses and figure out how to overcome it. And so what I would say for those who have schizo-affective bipolar, my personal advice would probably be don't give up, don't succumb. Keep fighting the good fight, because the moment you let go and the moment you let them take you, what you do is you give them power over you. Not only do you give them power over you, you let them take you. You let them basically win, essentially.
That's good advice. What do you want out of life? What do you want most of anything? What do you want to achieve?
Well, I mean, what do I want to achieve? Back in the past, I would have said, like, get a beautiful woman, settle down. Right now, that's still one of the goals, but I think my ultimate goal right now is, number one, to build a relationship with God. That comes first always. And the second goal is to advance my filmmaking career and advance my YouTube career, and to get that off the ground and whatnot.
Cool. So, this is Blaze, my son. So this is who he is and the issues that he deals with every day. So next week, like I said, next week my one of my best friends is coming to town. He'll be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We are going to do a podcast early next week, and he's going to be on it. We're going to be asking him a bunch of questions. It's going to be one that I'm very proud of, I think. It's going to be good. And I think that we're going to have to figure out how we're going to fit 3 people on this table.
Agreed. We're currently doing this in my very studio, so this is going to be a bit tough.
But we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a series that we're doing on PTSD and mental health. So the way we're going to do things for the next couple weeks, just to give you guys a heads up, is we're doing Jordan Rutan's special next week. And then I plan on going into soldier suicide the following week. And we're going to see where this leads, and we're going to go to the different disabilities. June is the PTSD Awareness Month, so there's going to be some specials there, and there's going to be more guest speakers. And then I'm pretty excited what's coming up. And then we're going to keep up with the current events, and we'll just see where it goes. I'm super proud of everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everything. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for being here. And I really want to hear comments from you guys. I really want to hear from you guys. I really want to communicate with you guys. I really want to talk back and forth. Good, bad, indifferent. Anything that you guys got. Blaze?
So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bring it home. So without further ado, I have been BB Christian. This has been Dad. Thank you for...
Jonathan Broder.
Right. Thank you for watching. As always, God bless, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you guys, will see you guys in episode 4 in the brand new Jordan Rutan special.
Thanks, have a good day.